All right. Hey, how is it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Matt Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. All right, we've got some folks in the house and some raiders coming on in. Thank you, Terry in Scotland, for coming in on that there raid, but also thank you for subscribing for 42 months. Oh my goodness. All right, so Shock is here letting everybody know the schedule, and Terry came in real quick like a bunny. 5 people on Terry's raid. I am going to guess that Terry in Scotland was one of those 5, along with Katie's Aura, and I'm thinking that Pennell saying hello to Shock was part of that there raid as well. Mitchie Mama in the house may or may not have been part of the raid, hard for say. Who else do we got? Let's see here. Yes, Raiders of the Last Fart. There we go. I love that name. And all right, Mama Sean coming in on that there YouTube side. And Pennell, let's see. Oh, all the kitties are outside enjoying the semi-nice weather. I will pass on the ear scritches when they come on in. And Pennell or Pussycat, for those of you, if you're lurking there, Mr. Man, yesterday I came home from work. Let me rephrase that. Yesterday was a day that I did not come straight home from work. I went to the bar because it was a situation yesterday. And so I came home a little bit late, around 8 p.m. And all 3 of the cats, Dusty, Leo, and Ashes, were just sitting in the kitchen, each by their little wet food dishes, just like, we're ready when you are, Mom. So it was very cute to see Leo also in the house, just laying there very politely, waiting for his meal. So I think that Leo, I don't know what it is about Leo. He spends more time inside my house during the summer than he does during the winter. And you'd think it would be opposite, but whatever. Leo is a weirdo, which is why I love him, because everybody here is a bit of a weirdo, including you, DJ Smook, who came in on the raid. If you weren't a weirdo, we wouldn't love ya. And aloha, how's it? So good to see you. All right, so now that we've figured out who some of them their final raiders were, let's get the party started, shall we? Boop. All right, and Shock saying His Royal Highness Wretch Underfoot, first of his name, will be staring at his food dish tonight because he has surgery tomorrow. Oh no, that's well, that's probably good because he probably needs to get his little trouble puffs taken care of. I'm guessing is what the surgery's for. I hope it's for nothing more serious than the little trouble puffs. And yes, Tareen was also feeling the empty dish from 45 states away. Tareen's like, somewhere there are kitties waiting for their food dish, and I am waiting in solidarity for them with them. How dare the human be late? How dare that human be late? And all right, so Rick is in the house saying, how's it? And he just subscribed for 44 months. Let's see here. And somehow we got, with that quick like a bunny sub, we've got a hype train happening. I do not even know. Wait, did somebody do biddies or something? How did we get a hype train so quick? All right, you guys, we're just hyping it on up. Fan-flippin-tastic. Good to see you, Rick. Good to see you, Rick. I hope you and Darlene are doing well. Today, despite the fact that the title, which I completely spaced about, said it's going to be the final HelloFresh. No, actually, that was the last one. We're not going to talk about HelloFresh today at all. Although I am curious if it looks like Mr. and Mrs. Aloha still haven't finalized their order yet, and that's okay. No big deal. And let's see here. Pussycat, did Leo get his own dinner with his family? Yes, we split a can of wet cat food 3 ways, and he got his own dry kibble. The dry kibble, Pussycat, that Leo gets right now is technically our trash kibble, but actually it's not trash. It's really expensive cat food. But one of my cats is allergic to the ingredients, and so it makes him very ill. So I can't let him have it. So I've switched my cats over to a different cat food, and none of the cats, not Leo, not Ashes, not Dusty, none of them like the new cat food as much as they like the old cat food that gets the one cat sick. Even the cat that gets sick likes the old cat food better. So, and Leo likes the old cat food better as well. Well, I still have like half of a bag full of the stuff that gets my cat sick. And so whenever Leo comes, Leo gets our trash. That's what I tell my cats, because they just look like, how dare you give him the good stuff, Mom? I mean, they are wholly offended. Whereas Leo's just like, oh yeah, bring me, I'll eat your trash. And so even though it's trash, it's not actually. It's very good cat food. I don't know what he's going to do once I finish that bag. He might have to start eating the lowly cat food that everybody else has to eat and put up with. And Wretch is on a bland diet cat food right now, and I really don't know what it costs. Yeah, exactly. It costs way too much for how little is in it, basically. And Darlene, yay, good to see you. I figured you were out doing something in the garden or maybe chitter-chattering with your daughters. Thank you so much, Rick, for that gift sub. That would explain why we're still hyping that hype train. And, His Royal Highness, is still having the tummy issues. Tummy issues oftentimes with kitties take a little while to, like, figure itself out and get calmed down. Even after I had my cat off of the allergic food, it probably took about 3/4 of a bag before his upsettedness stopped happening. And let's see here. Shock, it's all in the vet bill, and I haven't looked since Mr. Me, who wanted the cat in the first place, paid. There you go. Yes. And Kitty is doing way better, but now he wants to eat all the time. Well, you know, that's a good sign. Obviously, tonight, that's going to be a horrible situation for you, because he's going to be howling and growling and really wanting his foodsies. But now I know that this is a messy topic, but we have actually discussed this, I think, on the stream before. So, Shock, your cat seemed to have some problems with the litter box. Is he getting better has he found a litter that doesn't hurt his feetsies? And so is he doing a little bit better in that way? And let's see here, Pussycat, I bought a plastic kiddie pool for the fish. My pond still leaks. I'm putting the fish in there tomorrow. Oh, yeah, dude. I guess what you need to... So, Pussycat, with your... I don't know how big your pond is. I'm assuming the liner is what's leaking. And so I guess what? You have to drain your pond and put in a new liner? Which I can only... Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can only assume that will mean a lot of replanting pond plants or removing pond plants, because I assume you've got plants in your pond, even if they're semi-contained or whatever. 35 gallons, yeah, that's a lot. But is it so? But so, do you think you're gonna have to? I guess my question is, how do you... Oh, the pool is 100 gallons. Wait, hold on. The pool is 100 gallons? Your pond is only 35 gallons? Well, shoot, gosh darn heck fork, your fish are going to be stoked to be in that pool. They'll get to, like, stretch their fins, right? That's kind of cool. How come you don't, I guess, why don't you have that as the size of your pond? I guess you don't have a big enough part of that yard to be that big, but still, that's cool. Neat. I hope that they don't get too spoiled with their luxurious you know, spacious new pad, as it were. One is almost 12 inches long. Wow. And I'm assuming that's a are these, I don't remember what kind of fish you have. I mean, I know that they're freshwater fish. Is the 12-inch one a koi, or what kind of, do you have more than one kind of fish? Like what's going on with your fishies, man? Because, you know, okay, so Darlene says good sized fishes, koirala fish, right, Huzzy Cat? Is koirala basically the long version of koi? Oh, they were just small goldfish. Oh, so they're just goldfish doing their best lives. Living their best lives. Got it. Yeah, goldfish grow pretty much as big as their tank lets them grow. So, so there you have it. Nice. That's cool. I'm surprised though. How do you, koi, oh, autocorrect got you. Gotcha. So now, Puzzy, I mean, every time I would put, because I have a little pond in my backyard too. It's basically just it's not a pond. I mean, anyway, I had attempted a pond at one point in my backyard, okay? It's got plants in it, it's got lotus in it and everything, and I would try to keep fish in it, but whenever I put fish in it, the raccoons or the birds would come and steal the fish from the pond. Even though, you know, like the birds weren't necessarily but the raccoons would literally get in the pond. It was kind of funny, actually. I mean, it wasn't, but either way, the raccoons would eat the fish. So I'm wondering, how do you keep birds and then also other critters from eating your fish? Hey, Picola T, good to see you. And I know that birds can, and hey, dude, what? Sass, Squash, so good to see you. Just came in as we're talking about fish. Our hometown has a drive-through tropical fish store now. I think it might be a money laundering operation, just saying. Seriously, dude. A drive-through tropical fish store? Who decided that was something we needed? I don't even understand how they would get the funding. Dear Mr. Banker, I've got this great idea. How about, you know how when you just like need a tropical fish, but you don't have time to stop in and pick one at Petco? I'm gonna build, you can just drive up and order one from the menu. I want a blue tropical fish. And then you drive up and they'll give it to you in a bag. And then the banker's like, I just last week needed a blue tropical fish, but I can't be bothered to get out of my car to go to Petco for the blue tropical fish. I need this in my life. A drive-through tropical fish stand. And let's see here. Fancy Tales, Red Cat, Black Molly's. It's on my porch now, inside from the raccoons. Got it. And Rick, I can only assume, Rick, that the drive-through tropical fish store is open 24/7. What other store? How could it not? It's got to be open 24/7. It's logical, because only at 3 a.m. do you need the blue tropical fish, and you can't go to Petco. It is a 24/7 operation. Sass, where in the Flying Fork? When you say our hometown, do you mean Bremerton or do you mean Silverdale? And what? Is it the old Taco Bell? Like, I know you're serious, actually, but you can't be serious. Where in the Flying Fork is this drive-through fish store? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And Terry in Scotland, I don't quite know what is going on with you because I was reading the fish thing. Oh, yeah, definitely want to go. I just scrolled up. Yeah, dude, definitely get that checked into for sure. Like sooner rather than better. I hope that urologist can get you the hook up. And let's see here. Picola Tea. Yeah, like the yogurt store that opened in winter on the ground floor of the DC office building where I worked. Never saw customers eating froyo in 2 years. Had to be a front. Absolutely. And you know, we've talked about fronts on this stream before, and this is only an older Seattle specific memory of mine from 20 plus years ago, but there's a street that goes, well, okay, before I-5 came through Seattle, the main highway that went north and south through Seattle was called Highway 99. It's also known as Aurora Avenue. And so the Aurora Avenue Bridge connects the north end of Seattle to the main part of Seattle. And there's lakes. There's a lot of water and a lot of... Anyway, there's this very narrow stretch of Aurora that's right on the lake cliff. Yeah, Aurora Avenue, aka Hooker Lane. Yeah, exactly. But this is before the Hooker section. This is south. This is south of the Aurora Bridge. And on the cliff side, nowadays it's nothing but condos. But back in the day, on the cliff side of the road that went down into the lake was just nothing but industry, you know, like used tire yards and gravel, you know, just industry, just heavy machineries or whatever. And in the middle of all the gravel pit, the tire yard, the used tires, the tow truck shop, the whatever, in the middle of all of that was a tiny little yellow building that was a florist shop. Florist! No parking, no nothing. Flowers, florist. It was there for years. It was never open, but it always was like kept up. Like it looked like it was. I always wondered when it was going to open because it looked like it was open, only it never was open. And I'm pretty sure that was a front. And so let's see here. Sass is saying it was East Bremerton, the glass box across the parking lot from our old Denny's, 2 blocks from Petco. Old Denny's there across the street. Wasn't that... I don't remember what building that was. But okay, there you go. All right. And Sass actually does know one person who bought one fish from the drive-through tropical fish store. But you never see any customers there. Yeah. And shocked, there was a Binghamton, New York Chinese restaurant that was front for Chinese intelligence. Oh yeah, not at all surprised that happens. I remember, now whether or not this is true, I don't know. But I remember reading on the interwebs this one guy who, he doesn't know, but he's pretty sure he accidentally stumbled upon a front. He went into what he thought, it was like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he wanted a meal. This was a quiet Italian looking place, and yes, it was Italian, I know, could it be any more stereotypical? Anyway, he walks in, and there was nobody there, and then suddenly, like, people were sort of looking at him, and then, like, the people kind of realized, oh, I think this guy really thinks this is a restaurant, so they took his order. And this old Italian woman came out and served him his order. And he ate it, and it wasn't until he left that he kind of realized, like, what just happened. But he was just like, I'll tell you what, it was the best Italian food. It was the best Italian meal he'd ever had in his life. He was like, it was grandma that made it, and it tasted like grandma that made it. But it wasn't until he left that he was like, I don't really know if that was a restaurant or not. And Pinnell, there was a shoe store here that was pretty amazed when I went in to actually look at shoes. Right, exactly. Yeah. I have a friend who was out late at night in White Center, and in White Center there's a lot of Asian stores that, when I say they're Asian stores, I mean their signage isn't Asian. It's their clientele is Asian. They're not catering to the white man at all. And sometimes in those establishments, it's a case of like, a secret knock will get you downstairs into the gambling room that's not really supposed to be there. Well, one of my friends thinks that he stumbled upon one of those gambling parlors because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. It was one of the only places that was still open in White Center, and all he wanted was a Diet Coke. But, and it was supposed to be a restaurant. But after a whole lot of confusion, they finally just gave him a Diet Coke and kicked him out of the building. He didn't even have to pay for it. And he's like, I don't know what was going on there, but they are not a restaurant. And you're almost out. They eat like a pack of piranhas. You need some fish food. You could use a drive-through for pond pellets. Well, I wonder if I'd be willing to. Hey, Sass, do you know? Does the tropical fish store have pond pellets? My best guess is suddenly I am sitting here making fun of the idea of a drive-through fish store, and suddenly Pussycat's like, I could actually use a drive-through fish store. Hey, Trail Dust, good to see you. We're talking about businesses that might be fronts, and Sass Squash came in letting all of us know about a drive-through tropical fish store that just sprang up in his town, my hometown, our hometowns. I've known Sass since we were 15. We're not doing the math on that. All right. But yeah, a drive-through tropical fish store, which to me seems like the most insane concept ever. And now as we're discussing it, suddenly we have... we realize that maybe there is a need for a drive-through tropical fish store after all. And yeah, exactly, Shock. I can see an application where they have a chute into your back seat via the window rather than carrying a heavy bag. Yeah, out. Exactly. We could totally do this. And honestly, to tell you the truth, is it really any more ridiculous than a drive-through liquor store or what they actually have in Florida and in other southern places? I think New Orleans or Louisiana as well. A drive-through daiquiri stand. Yeah, you know, I just said that, right? A drive-through daiquiri stand. With, you know, booze in it. A brew-through. Exactly. I mean, for real, a drive-through tropical fish store seems like a way better idea than the brew-through. Although you don't want to spill, I mean, no matter what, you don't want to spill what you're getting from the drive-through. The drive-up beer counter outside Warsaw kind of got Scott's attention. Yeah, what would get my attention too, dude? It'd get my attention too, dude, because we don't have those around here. It is such a foreign concept. And Pussycat, yeah, you do have them. Yeah, the Booze Barn drive-thrus. Now, it's one thing, it is weird to me to go drive-through to get your liquor, but liquor is sealed up, and really it's no different than picking it up from your grocery store. But when it's like, hey, I want a daiquiri, strawberry please, and they'll take a pineapple daiquiri, and thanks. As long as the straw's not in the cup, we're good to go. Or whatever. I mean, like, it just seems weird. And in Nassau, there are drive-up windows for booze 24/7. Oh, you sunny southern places. And that is so bizarre. We had a drive-through grocery store. Well, honestly, that actually kind of makes sense. I don't have a drive-through grocery store, but that's how I shop. My Fred Meyer, which is basically a Kroger, for those of you who have Kroger, you know, you order your stuff online, and then you're like, I'll be there tomorrow at 1 p.m., have it ready for me, Chad, or whatever. And then you drive up, and you're like, Jeff, I'm in slot 7, bring it to me now. And then they bring it to you. So it was a mom and pop store. Yeah, I'm not at all surprised. I have really vague memories of childhood of going through a liquor and cigarette shop drive-through somewhere, but I don't know if it was in Canada or if it was like in Spokane. It was definitely not the Seattle area. Nicola T, maybe if the Pac Northwest had more drive-through booze barns, they'd have less serial killers. Just saying. You know, there's definitely something to be said for that logic. I'm not gonna lie. I can appreciate that logic. And let's see here. Trail dust up in Minnesota. I've seen a couple drive-throughs lately, but I was on the news. I don't think that was their business model. Funny you should say that, Trail Dust. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, well, we've got a couple drive-through weed stores up here, but nobody ever actually made it all the way through. They just made it in and then stole all the merchandise out. Sort of a drive-in weed store, as it were. That's why, at least in my area, I can't say it's true everywhere, but in my area, most of the weed stores now have huge cement, you know, the cinder blocks that are like 2 foot high and 2 foot wide and 3 foot long, stacked on each other. So that way the cars that attempt to drive through get smashed up on those. Although the last drive-through, drive-in, drive-up robbery that I heard about, they actually used 3 cars total. They used 2 cars, one to get through the big cement things, one to get into the building, and then one as the getaway car. Because if you're stealing cars, they're disposable, right? So, I don't know if this business was a front, says Mitchie Mama, but I did tell you that one of my Yellow Page customers made it on America's Most Wanted. Oh my gosh, you might have told us this story, Mitchie Mama, but I don't remember it. So tell us again. Tell us again. And let's see here. Let's see, we've never used them. You can get liquor at pretty much all the grocery stores. Yeah, here in Washington you can now too. And so Terry's saying Texas has an open container law. Texas has an open container law. When Kiki Friedman rode in a Cadillac as Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Dallas while very publicly sipping a Guinness, he told reporters, I drank, but I did not swallow. Right, there you go, I can only assume. He picked that up, that excuse up from another slick politician. But as much as we like to make fun of the slick politician that inhaled, or that smoked but did not inhale, honestly, I know that that's a cop-out to a lot of people, but if he only tried smoking once or twice, that actually might have happened. A lot of times, the first time people try to smoke, they really only get the smoke in their mouth. Sometimes they get it in their stomach. They don't know how to inhale the smoke. And so, as asinine and ridiculous and stupid as I smoked but I didn't inhale sounds when you say those words coming out of your mouth, as someone who's spent a lot of time smoking and inhaling, and then also smoking and not inhaling when it comes to cigarette smoke, I can sort of see how it happens. Yeah. So, And let's see here. Oh my God, Mitchie Mama, you actually were still in touch with his ex-partner when you saw him on America's Most Wanted, and you got to call. That is hysterical. And Pussycat, I knew a guy who worked at a liquor store and he sold weed too, so you could get a bottle of booze and a bag of weed, but it wasn't a drive-through store. Yeah, and you probably had to know, the seats like, oh, I'll get, a fifth of Jack and, a package of Clover cigarettes, a package of Clover gum, right? You probably had to know the secret passcode for, I need that blackjack gum you got under the counter. The gum. The gum. Or whatever. Yeah, in fact, actually, how did you ask for the weed at that liquor store with weed? I'm very curious, like, how that. I mean, you've got to have a code, right? How did this go about? And let's see here. Your mother had pot a couple times but didn't inhale. She also never inhaled cigarettes. Exactly, Pinnell. It is within the realm of possibility. Your body naturally does try to avert itself from inhaling smoke of all kinds. Campfire smoke, cigarette smoke, weed smoke, crack smoke. Okay, maybe by the time you're smoking crack, your lungs are like, yeah, bring the smoke on, baby. But besides that, your lungs really don't, that's not the first thing they want to breathe. And, let's see here. Okay, so Mitchie Mama, dude wasn't a creeper or a murderer or anything. Peter was just the biggest con man. I don't think he's as big as the Cheeto Overlord, though. Yeah, totally, dude. Because if he was as big as him, he wouldn't have gotten caught and he wouldn't have been in jail. And Pussycat, you know what? I can appreciate your answer. And I did not ask the question with the intention of incriminating yourself, even though it absolutely would have. So I apologize for even putting you in that position, because I was not thinking with the question that I was asking there. Was not thinking at all. But hey, you guys, this is something that I meant to show you last stream, and I totally spaced. Bacola Tea is here, and we're talking about pot, and this is kind of a pot adjacent thing. And so I want to share with you a video that Bacola Tea shared with me, and I don't know, man. All I'm saying is I don't like The Dead, and The Dead and Company is not a show that I would think that I would want to watch. And if you don't want to listen to this, that's cool. You don't have to. In fact, I might mute it because it's not really the song that matters, and I don't want to another copyright. But check this video out, you guys. When I said that The Dead and Company put on a really good show, this is why I was freaking out last stream over how good their show must be, because it's exactly. Okay, Bacola Tea, The Dead is not my thing either, but the images were amazing. Exactly, dude. Like, it sounds like it is a production that if you can tolerate the music, go see this, because yeah. Anyway, all right, so let's do this. Boop.
nighttime on the streets of Kiev, and the mood is such. I'll try to explain. Watch a last sunset till we see the green flash, and it's you and me on a beach at Cam 1. Yeah. On these southern shores, they'll sell everything. Sell a moonlit night, sell your diamond ring. Can you help me now when I say to you, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done for Kiev? Well, oh no. Need I say more? Well, oh no. They're in the shadows of a lonely street light. There it is, something moved, and it doesn't feel right. So she takes his hand as they try to run away, run away, run away, down the streets of Kiev. Well, oh no. Need I say more? Well, oh no. Lightning strikes high, Kiev spellbounds you under a southern sky. Oh no. Need I say more? Well, oh no. Somewhere around Cold Park, she looked into his eyes, and as he looked back, they began to realize it's just you and me. And where do we go from here? Let's go take a walk down the streets of Kiev. Oh no. Need I say more? Well, oh no. Lightning strikes high, Kiev spellbounds you under a southern sky. Oh no. Need I say more? Well, oh no. It is nighttime on the streets of Kiev, and the mood is such. I'll try to explain. I'll watch a last sunset till we see the green flash, and it's you and me on a beach at Cam 1. Yeah.
All right, there we go. So that was a far out trip, man. Thanks to the Dead and Company, and thanks to Picola T. So, Pussycat, that's so cool. You watch the launch on NASA Channel and go outside and actually watch it. Cool. And Epic Spaceman, I could only assume is maybe a YouTube creator, content creator. At first, though, Rick, when you said I should check out Epic Spaceman on YouTube, for some reason I didn't see Epic as Epic. I saw it as Eric, and then it was Eric Spaceman, which I then just assumed. I made a leap in my brain that it was a South Park. Eric Cartman from South Park was doing. It was a character of Eric Cartman's, and I was very confused for a second. But then I realized, oh, that doesn't say Eric. It says Epic, and well, there you go. All right, so for those of you who did notice or were wondering, like, that was not a Dead tune we were listening to on that video. That is correct. That was not a Grateful Dead tune that we were listening. Well, it was at the very beginning. And then I was like, I've already gotten one copyright strike on my channel, and I've got like 90 days to wear it off and get it off my thing. So I'm just gonna maybe play it safe for the next 90 days or so, and we're just gonna switch out the Grateful Dead music for some Lono tunes. And let's see here. Pussycat saying on a clear day, the launches from SpaceX can be seen up the East Coast to North Carolina. Wow, dude. Let's see here. And Rick says that Epic Spaceman dude posited that if you turned off all the Milky Way stars in the night sky, there would be no other stars in the sky. Well, you mean that we could see, right? But there'd still be other stars going in different directions, just far that we can't see them, right? Well, anyway, I don't know nothing about nothing. But what I do know is we are 2 minutes past our Lono listening break. So I figure I would throw in some Lono. Now, this particular Lono tune... I just thought of something. Okay, well, this particular Lono tune I'm just gonna play it. It's not a Lono tune. It's actually a country comfort song, and hopefully the YouTube algorithm doesn't know who Country Comfort is, and hopefully that I won't get a copyright strike on this, which didn't occur to me till just right now. But if you're not familiar with the band Country Comfort, it's a great Hawaiian band from the 70s, and it's the band that happened before some of the members left and then started Kalapana. But this is Country Comfort instead. Hey, Donna, good to see you. I totally miss you too. I was just thinking to myself that I needed you to come into the office, not because you needed to come into the office, but just because it's boring in the office without a coworker. For those of you who don't know who Donna is one of my co-workers, and she actually sometimes is even in the office with me. But alas, I'm not going to tell all y'all who she is, because she might want to be remained secret. So her name's not Donna, her name's Secret Squirrel. Not really, her name's Donna. All right, so it is now time for the Lono listening break. Country Comfort is the band, Rainy Day Song is the song, and here we go.
Let's go. Blue sky. clouds go away. Blue skies, you're my only friend. Brings me back to life again. Sunshine lightens up my day. Make the dark clouds go away. Blue skies, you're my only friend. Brings me back to life again. Blue skies, she was the one who turned me on to you before. Blue skies, now that she's gone, you're all I have worth living for. Sunshine lightens up my day. Make the dark clouds go away. Blue skies, you're my only friend. Brings me back to life again. Blue skies, see you again. I know the rain must fall sometime. Blue skies, waiting till then. Thank you once again, you've been so kind. Thank you once again, you've been so kind. Thank you once again, you've been so kind.
All right, there we have it. Our country comfort rainy day song by Lono. It was just sort of the chill kind of vibe that I needed last night when I picked that song out. And listening to it again today, it's that chill kind of vibe I kind of need today as well. All right, so while we had our Lono listening break, Verity Hunt came in along with Mariana. Good to see you, Mariana. And good to see you, Verity. So glad y'all could come in just in time for the Lono listening break. Usually 45 minutes into the show, although we've definitely been known to run a little bit late, like that. But this time it was kind of a minute or two on time-ish. Anyway, exactly, Donna. Very relaxing tune. Country Comfort is a great band from the 70s that not a lot of people have heard of. And I gotta tell you, dude, every song I've ever heard from them is just super chill. And then the band that came after that, Kalapana, oh, an amazing band. Not necessarily as chill, a little bit more disco-y and upbeat, but the harmonies that these guys could create, oh my God. Now granted, obviously, I'm talking about the actual band, not just Lono, because Lono was the one that we were just watching. And anyway, when Lono was a kid, those were some of the bands that were on the scene when he was up and coming. And so huge influences for him. And I always love it to see when he's playing songs that he grew up with. All right, you guys. So we've had our Lono listening break. We've talked about random stuff. What were we even talking about before? Oh, tropical fish stores, fronts. Yeah, I couldn't even remember what we were talking about. All right, so I've got a question for you guys. Well, actually, no, not a question. First off, this has been determined, and Pussycat, you might already know. Boop. These are the hurricanes that will be coming into fruition in 2025. Andrea has not shown up yet. Then we've got Barry. Chantal. I'm very curious to see the mess that Chantal might make. Dexter, on the other hand, he is where the messiness is going to happen. But further down the list, we've got Aaron, we've got Fernand, we've got Gabriel, we've got Humberto, we've got Imelda, we've got Jerry, and then we've got... You guys, if anyone ever said the world is going to come to an end in 2025, we know right now when it's going to happen. We know when. It's going to happen when Karen shows up. I don't know what Karen's going to do. She's going to call the manager. We know that. I'm going to assume maybe Imelda's going to be the manager. Imelda's not going to give a flying fork because Imelda's going to be busy in a different part of the world. But Karen, she's going to try to bring Imelda into it. And when Imelda and Karen, Jerry's just going to get lost in the crowd. Yeah, Karen, y'all. The irony is if Dexter hit Miami. Oh, is that where Dexter, is that Mariana where the TV show Dexter took place? Is Miami? That would... Okay, y'all. I'm not trying to like wish bad things on people, but I kind of wish Dexter hits Miami. If that is the case, because I never watched Dexter because it was kind of a, I don't know, freaky movie or TV show to me. But if he took place in Miami, then yeah, then Dexter has to hit Miami. I want Dexter to hit Miami. Sorry, Miami. I hope Dexter's mild. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ill will. Wendy will bring Baconators. Oh, well, hey, Wendy. I am welcome Wendy to my party. I would love if Wendy started hailing Baconators all over the place. But yeah, Karen apparently is going to come make everything right again or something. And Jerry sounds like a friendly hurricane. I know, right? Jerry sounds like he's either going to be playing Grateful Dead music or giving us ice cream. Either way, he's wearing a tie-dye t-shirt. That's all I know. As Jerry's cool, dude. Jerry's all jeep. And Pussycat, the EFGH storms are usually pretty nasty. No, that makes sense. That's where the hurricane season is sort of starting to really pick up and get comfortable with itself during that era. Because, the A storm is the first one. They're a little bit shy. They're not sure. They're the first one out on the dance floor. I don't know. Is the DJ playing good music? But by the time E, F, G, and H comes, dude, the beat has dropped and they are just pumping. And it is, yeah. And Michi Mama, no more FEMA? I don't have any idea. I don't know. We'll see, won't we? We will find out, won't we? Yeah. And so anyway, I thought that was a very cute little set of hurricanes. And lately the M storms have been pretty bad. So that's Melissa. Melissa sounds like Melissa sounds like Karen's best friend. So I'm not surprised that Melissa might be just as damaging as a Karen, actually. And I'm Fuzzy Cat, I'm sorry, I'm not actually trying to laugh at anybody's misery or anything. That's not where my humor's coming from. It's truly just coming from the list of names. I saw the list, I saw Karen on it, and I couldn't help but laugh. So yeah, you want the lovely Lee Storms. Lee isn't on here this year, is it? What was the L? Great, where did it go? No, oh yeah, no, we've got no Lee right now. We've got Lorenzo. And Melissa could be dangerous if not shy, right, Chuck? Yeah, actually, that's exactly it. Melissa can come in all quiet like, I'm so meek looking. You barely notice me. Now you're dead on the floor. Bye. Now you're dead on the floor. Kaden, bye. That's exactly what Melissa's gonna do. There's nothing to worry about with me. Ka-chop, pachupa. Oh, now you dead. That's what Melissa is. And it sucks. Hurricane season is 2 weeks away. Yeah, June through December, isn't it? Exactly, Shock. She be shanking peeps. And June 1st to November 31st. Yeah, June till December, basically, is what I thought it was. I remember I told my friend once, actually, it might have even been Sass, I was like, I think hurricane season is 6 months. He didn't believe me, but then we looked it up, and he was like, wow, that sucks. And Mariana, last year was the first year of the hurricanes that really affected me and made me think, why the heck do people choose to live here? Yeah, well, last year, Mariana, like, a lot of those hurricanes ended up going really far inland. It seemed. And so, yeah, last year had some really weirdness going on. And yeah, August and September are the worst. That makes total sense because, like, you've got June and July to warm up, and you've got August and September, it's in the thick of it, and then October and November to wind down, right? So, yeah, Darlene, exactly. Wow, that's a long spell of bad weather stretch. Bummer. Exactly. People don't realize, like, no, dude, hurricane season is literally half the year. You know, you only hear about it usually during the peak, but the risk of a hurricane is totally on the table from June until December. In fact, actually, I feel like there's been a couple hurricanes that have started in May, and I do believe there's been a couple hurricanes that kind of lingered into December. And Verity, more of that to come. I'm assuming you mean the weirdness and the further inland. I don't know if that's what you meant, but if that's what you meant, I'm in total agreement with you. I mean, I wish I wasn't, but that seems to be the trend. And yeah, which hurricane was that wrecked the North Carolina last year? I don't remember, but it was a higher alphabet one, wasn't it? I mean, maybe not high alphabet, but mid alphabet at least. But yeah, that one, last year's hurricanes were something that obviously, I live in the Pacific Northwest. We don't have hurricane season. I watch hurricane season from afar. But hurricane season is still something that the entire country is relatively aware of. And I don't think in my entire life I've heard of a hurricane that did that North Carolina, like, boy, oh boy, I don't think there was ever one in my memory that did something like that. And, let's see here. No snow during hurricane season. Well, I think there was snow, though, wasn't there, in parts of the weirdness? Or maybe that was after hurricane season. Snow in Florida. What was that? And, let's see here. Verity, and yes, indeed, that's what you were referring to. I had a feeling. And, okay, so it was Helene. Oh, okay, so it wasn't even... Wow, so they didn't even have, like, that many last year, I guess. But the one they had, H, was... Helene, yeah, was a little bit hellish. Yeah, for sure. And there have been only a couple handfuls of hurricanes that have occurred in the southern hemisphere in the Atlantic. Interesting. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think in the southern hemisphere of the Pacific, we don't get hurricanes. They're called cyclones. I definitely think I don't know what I'm talking about there, but I feel like hurricanes and cyclones are the same thing, only in different parts of the world. I also feel like I'm making that up off the top of my head. So, yeah. And Pussycat verified, yes, it did snow in the Panhandle. All right. So I wasn't just making that up. Because I'm good at making stuff up. And speaking of making stuff up, check this out, you guys. This is the world on a map. But instead of making Great Britain the center of it, it's New Zealand. I'm sharing this for a couple reasons. First off, it's a map. I mean, there you go. Second off, oh dude, I've never seen the world like this on a map like this. And third off, I don't remember why. Third off, but there we go. I'm just showing you this map because I liked it. And now I can't find my face. Here's my face. There we go. Oh yeah, I was making stuff up. We were saying things are being made up. Maps, you know, the center of a map. You can just make up the center and go from there. And that's what it looks like when a human makes up the map that makes New Zealand the center. There's a reason why I showed that map, but it got lost. Oh, typhoons! I forgot about typhoons. Yeah, so cyclones, typhoons, hurricanes, depends on the geography. Oh, well, no, but yeah, on the geography. Wait. Yeah, I guess on the geography. That makes sense. And, oh, you want to go back? Where's Greenland? All right, let's go look. Let's go look at the New Zealand. Okay, so let's see here. Greenland is in the upper left-hand corner of the map. It's that huge white blurb. That's Greenland. I guess, I think. Woolly Woolly is what they call it in Australia. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Antarctic is center bottom. Then Australia is a little bit off to the upper left. And then New Zealand is basically, though hard to see, New Zealand is directly straight above Antarctica. By the way, this map does more adequately show just how far away New Zealand is from Australia. People don't necessarily think that people think that Australia and New Zealand are quite close together, but they're actually like 2,500 miles apart. And so 2,500 miles is basically like from Denver to the East Coast. So it's far. It's really far. And anyway, I thought that this was kind of cool because arbitrarily this person decided to put New Zealand centric, and why not? Because, you know, arbitrarily Britain-centered map is just the one ingrained to all of our brains. And sometimes you think Russia, Asia in general is so far, but not so far as it seems. Yeah, it was a 2-day sailing from Australia to New Zealand in very rough seas, says Bocolity. Yeah, it's a big deal. And in regards to Russia being super close to the United States, I actually have another map that can show you exactly what we're talking about here. So this is 2 maps. One of them is the globe from the top down, and one of them is the exact same flight path, but drawn on a flat map, with the flat map being Britain-centric. And so, as you can see, going over the top of the Earth saves a lot of time when you're going from here to there. But more importantly, you can see how close Russia and Alaska are together. I know that it was easy to make fun of Sarah Palin saying, "I can see Russia from my back porch." Yes, Russia, she could not see Russia from her particular front porch or back porch. But there is an island There's 2 islands. One of them belongs to Russia. One of them belongs to the United States, that are less than 2 miles apart. And during the frozen ice period of the year, you can actually walk across the ocean that 2 miles from the United States to Russia and back. That is actually how close Russia and Alaska are. That's the missiles flight tracks, shortest distance, exactly. And yeah, Mitchie Mama, you took the polar route from London to San Francisco. Exactly. When I flew to London when I was a kid from Seattle, it was a 9.5 hour flight, and we flew over the polar ice cap, and it was absolutely the shortest route. Flat map, flat map, flat map, flat map, flat map. I can't. Well, T, no, I can't. I cannot say flat map. I end up saying flap mat instead. And Verity Hunt, how do you factor longitude and latitude on that? Well, as latitude on the flat map is easy. They're just lines that pretty much go straight across ish. But the longitude, actually that's not true. On a flat map, you can account for them. They just all, instead of being straight lines, okay. The straight lines of longitude and latitude on a globe turn into curvy lines on a flat map. They're straight lines on a 3-dimensional globe, but on a 2-dimensional flat map, the lines end up looking curvy in accounting for them. If you're asking me how they actually account for them as far as like mathematicalness, I couldn't even begin to tell you. Oh, you mean on this map? How did they do? Yeah, I can't answer those questions. I'm gonna guess they had a computer program just rearrange this. But honestly, I can't answer that. And let's see here. You live on the same latitude as Copenhagen and Moscow. And let's see here. There's no hurricane activity in Atlantic on the south side of the equator. Brazil does not have a hurricane season, and they don't form off of Africa. I feel like I heard of one that formed off of Africa. And then Darlene, see, I just planted this bad seed in your mind, Darlene, and I wish I had the answer. But do they have typhoons or cyclones instead of hurricanes? Because I really don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, and you guys know this. Really, you do know this. But I really feel like cyclones, typhoons, and hurricanes are all the same weather phenomenon, just different parts of the globe call them different things. Or if they are in different parts of the globe, they're called different things. I am really good at making stuff up. But Terry in Scotland says, historically, Hurricane Katrina is the only recorded hurricane-strength tropical cyclone in the South Atlantic, which formed in March 2004, and made landfall in Brazil as a Category 2 hurricane. Tropical cyclones in South Atlantic are rare due to high wind shear and lack of favorable conditions for cyclone formation. The climatological peak of activity in the South Atlantic occurs during the months from November through May, which does stand to reason because they're on the other side. And so I guess they call them cyclones in the southern hemisphere and hurricanes in the northern hemisphere. But then what's a typhoon? Now I'm confused. All right, well, we might have to do a little more digging into this, but we don't have any HelloFresh to talk about today. Oh, really? They spin the other way, too? Oh, maybe that's what makes... Okay, so Patel is saying that typhoons are in China, Japan, etc. Cyclones are in the southern hemisphere. And hurricanes are an American thing. Okay. I will probably never remember that. And I will have this question one more time, at least in my life. But, let's see here. Donna, typhoons form in the Northwest Pacific Ocean. So, right. So, over by Japan and China. Okay. Because even though we're in the Pacific Northwest, here in the Seattle area, we're actually in the northeast of the Pacific, which always blows my mind. But we are. If you look at the Pacific Ocean, we're in the northeast of the Pacific Ocean, which makes us the northwest, the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest is located in the northeastern Pacific Ocean. That's right. The Pacific Northwest is located in the northeastern Pacific Ocean. Okay. And let me see here. Otarian Scotland coming in. Hurricanes are not anticyclones. They are actually cyclones. Cyclones are regions of relatively low pressure, while anticyclones are regions of relatively high pressure. Hurricanes, also known as tropical cyclones or typhoons, form over warm tropical oceans and are characterized by their low pressure centers and counterclockwise circulation in the northern hemisphere. Interesting. Puzzycat, the toilets in the southern hemisphere spin counterclockwise along with the hurricanes. I've heard that that's a myth. I've never been to the southern hemisphere, so I cannot answer that question, but I've heard that that's not true. I probably heard that's not true on the internet, so take that for what it's worth. But I've heard that's not true. The toilet part, the cyclone part, no idea about that. No idea about that. But I have never heard of an anticyclone, meaning relatively high pressure. Like, what do... Is that like a storm system of... Like, how would you know you're in an anticyclone? I mean, okay, anticyclones apparently do exist, but has anybody ever experienced them? So, like, what is it? How does an anticyclone present itself? Is it just like really windy and no clouds, or how on earth? Yeah, get someone who lives in Australia to flush the toilet. Exactly, but I don't think we've got very many Australian viewers. And our favorite Finn, he's in Finland, not in Australia, so we can't even have our foreign viewers help, because even though Australia used to be part of the UK, all the people we know up in the UK are up in the UK, and I mean, they weren't part of the UK, but they were part of that empire, and you know, and people in Canada used to be part of the UK, and they used to all be friends with Australia, but they're up in Canada, and so we can't, all of our even tangentially Australianated people aren't going to be able to help us. The anticyclone makes you cry, uncle. You know someone in another chat from Australia. Okay, cool. Well, we'll ask them. And Terry, if you drain water directly on the equator, it doesn't spin at all. The tightest spin is out of the poles, counterclockwise in the north, clockwise in the south. Okay, well then I guess I heard on the internet that it is true also about the flushing of the toilets in Australia. I've heard that it's both true and untrue. So, all right, there you go. I have no idea. All right, so we've got 10 minutes left. Let's see, is there anything that I needed to show you guys? Oh, I don't know. I feel like I've shown this to you, but I also feel like I might not have. So if I've shown this to you, Australia, the moon is upside down there too. Oh, that makes sense. You can totally tell when a circle is upside down. It's really obvious. All right, you guys. So, we are heading into a summer season. So, summer season is not the season for this. But have you guys ever heard of skijoring? In the winter, this is something crazy Americans do, and probably crazy Russians, and probably crazy Mongolians, and probably just crazy people. But you do it in the winter. You do it in the winter. And have you guys heard of skijoring? I never heard of skijoring until now, and this is skijoring.
Skijoring is putting a skier behind a horse with a 30-foot rope, asking the skier to go around 16 to 20 gates, a few jumps, and the horse to go wide open. It's a combination of Western horsemanship and racing, a little bit of a water skiing element because you're at the end of a rope. So it is just an adrenaline-packed 15 to 20 seconds of fun. So the guys that are doing it successfully have some ski racing behind them, or a lot of skiing under their belt, and know a few things about what the horse might do. And yeah, the skill set is missing a few brain cells, and making some calculated decisions, and definitely accepting the risk. At the 50th anniversary of Jackson Hole Mountain Resort, we looked at bringing events back that kind of reflect the nature and the past vision that we've had. Skijoring lasted out here for probably 15 years, from the 80s into the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's just great to bring it right back out to kind of its part of its Jackson Hole roots, right at the base of the ski area. Couldn't be a better location.
Anyway, so I thought I thought that was kind of flippin' wild, dude. I really thought that was wild. And so I thought I would share that with you because I ain't never seen nothing like that in real life in my life. It totally sounds like something that people in Jackson Hole would do, though. I mean, skiing, and a combination of skiing and horses, that is Jackson Hole, Wyoming, right flippin' there. And yes, Rick, you have to trust the driver, and the driver has to trust their steed. Always got to trust that steed underneath you, for sure, dude. And I'd like to be the horse rider, says Mitchie Mama. Shock, I'd ride, I wouldn't ski. I would just go watch it, is what I would do. And right, no boat required at all. And exactly, Darlene, the crashing is definitely gonna hurt on that one. That is definitely a case of you better be prepared to fall, because even if you know what you're doing, it seems like you're gonna fall at some point. And Pinnell, you'd rather ride too? Yeah, totally. And watching this, I thought of this, and I wish I'd thought ahead, or I wish this had crossed my mind earlier. Every year there are Native American horse races. There's a Native American horse race circuit, and they oftentimes take place even in the white man's horse racing places, where people go to bet on horse racing, with the jockeys and the satins and the fancy pants and whatever, Well, every once in a while, it won't be the jockeys with the fancy pants and the satins. It's actually bareback Native American competition horse racing. And they have to jump on the horses while the horses are running by and blah blah blah. It is so flippin' intense. It's like and it's a horse racing circuit. And by the end of the season, there's a champion amongst all the. This is across the country. This is across the reservations. This is across everywhere. And so they have finals and this, that, and the other thing. I saw a video the other day of it for the first time. I've heard of it before. One of my friends wanted to take me there, but didn't end up happening. But now that I've seen a video of it, oh my God, I'm going to try to see if I can find one, because it reminded me, the skijoring reminded me a little bit of that, because it's just so wild. I mean, just so out of control. Because regular horse racing is kind of a hoity-toity, very controlled event, despite the fact that it's a lot of animal power going super fast, and it is inherently risky. You can die. The horse can die. It's still a relatively controlled event. These natives with the, I guess, okay, you know what? I'm sure it's equally controlled by them. It just does not look equally controlled to me. It just looks like crazy chaos of scariness. And let's see here. Rick and some of his friends up north were risk takers at times, but they all lived. Being pulled by a truck on a frozen lake on skis is one of the many crazy things they tried. Not at all surprised to hear that. Not one bit. All right, so we have got 3 minutes left. That's not 3. That's 2, and that's 2. We have 3 minutes left till the end of the hour, or till the bottom of the hour. And so we probably need to wind things up. I want to thank all you guys for subbing and resubbing and gift subbing. Thank you so much for that hype train. I want to thank everybody for being on guard when it comes to keeping the peoples away that don't need to be here. And I don't think we had any of those people, but Mods, thanks for being on guard. And Rick, in your defense, there was beer. Of course there was, my friend. Of course there was. I want to thank the Raiders for coming in. I want to thank Terry for being one of them there, Raiders. I want to thank the new faces like our secret squirrel Donna who came in. And I want to thank Mariana for coming in late along with Verity Hunt. I want to thank all the people who are here early, middle, and on time, chattering the chatter stuff away. We didn't even have to talk about food today. We were going to talk about food. You know what we were going to talk about? We were going to talk about cup noodle. I got the original kind in the styrofoam package. We're going to talk about instant noodle. I got this kind. We're going to talk about this weird spaghetti stuff from Korea. I got this kind. We're going to talk about mild ramen that's super good and it's in a thing. We were going to talk about Ichiban ramens, and even more Ichiban ramens. Tonkatsu! And then we were going to talk about a different tonkatsu. And then we were going to talk about the mild gin ramen. Because, I might have a ramen or two in my cupboard these days. I've turned into a ramen addict, and I thought I would talk to you guys about all my ramen problems. But we didn't have to. And cheap beer is worse. Hey, Rick, don't be dissing on my cheap beer. I love my Pabst, and it is about as cheap gets. Shock, you know what? No, they're all gluten-filled. Well, actually, this one has a lot of potato starch in it, but still wheat flour. No, none of them are gluten-free. I'm back on the dope, and by dope, I mean gluten. I'm still sugar-free, but right now in my life, I'm back on the dope. And when I say dope, I mean flour. I mean wheat flour. I don't I don't mean anything illegal. I just mean flour, wheat flour. Noodles, I'm back on noodles is what it is. I can't stop with the nudes. And did I get my files back? No, I did not get my files back. Not yet. It's a long story that I don't really want to get into. And it has nothing to do with... Anyway, it might be a minute before I get my files back, and we'll just leave it at that. So, anyway. And Padel, gluten is okay if I don't have celiac. Well, it is and it isn't, actually. I have an autoimmune disorder that it only becomes worse when I eat gluten. I don't I don't necessarily have a bad physical reaction the way celiac people have, but it affects my blood work. You can tell in my blood work when I'm bad. But it is what it is. So and right, yeah, shock. You can't have you're not celiac, but you can't have wheat. Your sinuses bleed and your joints swell up. Yeah, exactly. There's different reactions to the stuff, but I'll tell you what. If you love gluten, and I didn't know this until recently, I was at the Asian food store, and y'all, there was a jar about this size that was nothing but gluten. It's like you can literally buy a jar of gluten, and I was just like, I don't think I want to do that. I don't know why you would need a jar of gluten, but apparently you can buy a jar of gluten. Who knew? Jar o' gluten. Exactly. All right, you guys. So we are now 2 minutes past the hour. Past the bottom of the hour. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Saturday, we are going to be watching Ocean's 11 at the Map Statter channel on Twitch. Remember, that's Map. I want to get a good pop. A Map Statter. There we go. And like I said, Ocean's 12. And then the week after that, we're going to be watching a movie called Suburbia. And that movie came out in 1983. And yeah, there you go. All right, so Shock, it's time to take away Mr. Chipper's cat Fudd. So he's going to be meowing the rest of the evenings. And hopefully he'll be able to survive the night without any Fudd. And yeah, Mitchie Mama, take care. Donna, good to see you. Good to know that you got a giggle out of this. And yeah, hopefully we'll see each other soon. Sunday next chat show, 5 p.m. West Coast time. And Photo Luke did just post a new video. And speaking of Photo Luke, he will be on later on this evening in about an hour and a half. And chances are I will most likely be hanging out there when he's on. So if we want to hang out together further, let's go hang out together further on Photo Luke in 1.5 hours. Okay, take care, y'all. Have a good one. And Mr. Chipper, take care of your trouble puffs. All right, there you go. Pussycat. Go night-night now. See you later, y'all.